An indication of how easy to handle the Vulcan is. You can go this slowly to keep position with these two little aircraft. In fact, they're making more noise than she is. That's Kev Rumans flying. Co-captain is Bill Perrins. Third member of the crew is the Air Electronics Officer, Phil Davies. In front of us, just here, Vulcan's Olympus engines coming on there. I think we'll hear them rather more loudly later in her display. But it's interesting, I think, to observe that the RV8s were making more noise than the big Vulcan with its Rolls-Royce Bristol Olympus 202 engines, 16,400. Although rather different ones. Perfect formation there by the two RV8 guys, Alistair Kay and Andy Hill. You just get a little suspicion of Vulcan's engine slightly opening up there. She looks enormous. Quick reaction alert that required. She was painted white, anti-nuclear flash, and then when she stopped doing that, became a low-level cannons. Co-captain Bill Perrins, AEO Phil Davies. Your very own Vulcan. See, everybody thinks she's very noisy, but she can tiptoe up on you. The man who flew the amazing raid on the Falkland Islands, Martin Withers, is now the chief pilot of the Vulcan to the Sky Trust. This aircraft was made in 1960, so she had her 53rd birthday last Saturday. As a fighter at the Farnborough Airshow, and I can remember seeing this. One of her test pilots rolled this aeroplane. It didn't go down very well, and he was told not to do it again in public, but it was quite capable of being rolled. And she has a fighter-like control stick. Doesn't have a big yoke like most bombers would have. So she really is a bomber pretending to be a fighter. See that bomb bay opening there, the bomb bay doors open, and that is where she carried those 10 tons, 21,000 pounds of bombs. Now it's too far away to see, but if you were to look closely inside that bomb bay, which you can do when she's on the ground, you will see that It is completely covered with the names of people who have sponsored their names being in that bomb bay. There is still a little space left if you wanted to have your name remembered inside that huge bomb bay. You should go to the end of the 2015 season, where there was a time when we thought she might not fly beyond the end of this season because she does require major modification next winter. As she comes by this time, you'd see those bomb doors closing. If you look at them with binoculars, you may just be able to see inside. What she really needs is a full commercial sponsor, and everybody's been trying for years to get that. She doesn't have one, but she does get an awful lot of help from the commercial world. Also, people like Eddie Forrester of Aerobytes, very generous. Big support from the Civil Aviation Authority. Somehow you don't expect to be EADS, Goodrich, Kearsley Airways, Meggitt, Messier Doughty, Rolls-Royce and Serco. Still costing £2 million a year to run. That's 38,500 every week. Fundraising done by the Vulcan to the Sky Club, quite a lot of it. More than 8,000 members and rising, one of the biggest aviation heritage support clubs in the world. She lives at what used to be RAF Finningley, where she used to be stationed at one time. That's now snappily known, and she does not belong to the Royal Air Force. And in fact, just as Kev put the power on there, you heard the beginning of the Vulcan howl, extraordinary noise that is unique to this aircraft. Nobody quite knows why it happens, but it does. And it depends on the weather as well. But you can tell your grandchildren you've heard the Vulcan howl. There's one member, or sort of member of the crew that I haven't mentioned, and that's Kevin Stone, Taff Stone. He's the crew chief, the chief engineer, the man who thinks of her as my baby. 570070 770 70070, and you text Vulc 13, Vulc 13, VULC 13, plus one more figure for how much you want to give. So it could be 2, 3, 4 or 5. So to contribute £3, you text Vulc 133 to the number 770. Here she is for the last pass with her gear down, and wait for the sound as those spool up. There she goes. Wasn't that absolutely super? So